Hello, everyone. This is Renee Rentmeester. I'm creator and executive producer of the Cooking Without Looking TV show and podcast. And we have a very special couple with us today. They have a tremendously fun podcast and educational as well. It's called Two Blind Mice. It's Philip and Mary Sotelo. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Hi, Renee. Thank you for
Hello.
having us on.
Of course, you guys had me on and we had such a good time. It's like, let's keep the good times rolling.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
believe me, we got a couple of good shows coming up.
Yeah, we
Oh.
got good times coming.
I can believe it. So, tell us a little bit about yourselves, about your blindness. You're a couple who's both, you're both blind, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we both are. Mine is a result of RP, and yours is a result of
Mine was a result of a medication side effect, a 1 in a million side
Oh,
effect.
no.
Yeah. So
yeah. She's 1 in a million now.
I'm going on almost 8 years of being blind. And how long you been
Oh,
blind?
me, progressively, but 15 years ago, I pretty much experienced vision loss to the degree that I can only distinguish light from dark.
So how long have you been blind, honey?
9 years now,
9 years. Okay.
completely.
So neither one of us were born blind. Let's just say that.
Right. What was your life like before you went blind? And were you blind when you met one another?
Yeah, we were both blind when we met one another. That's a story within itself. But let me talk about myself, which Mary says I'm very good at. I got diagnosed with RP back in 1997. And at that point, I had a 9-year career in law enforcement. And, the doctor told me there's going to come a point in time where you're not going to be able to do your job anymore. And that happened in early 2005. That was it. I couldn't do the job anymore. So I had to set my law enforcement career aside. And from that point on, everything went progressive on my vision loss. RP, one of the first things you go deal with is night blindness. Sure enough, that happened to me. And like I said, as time went by 2015, all I can distinguish now is light and darkness.
So what were you in your past life? Huh?
Police officer.
You were a what?
Police officer.
You were a sergeant.
Oh, sorry.
Ooh.
She keeps reminding me. Yeah, I was I had to retire as a police supervisor after 17
Sergeant.
years.
Yes.
I enjoyed it. It was a fun job, different times then. So, things were different. I enjoyed it. It took me a while to get over the whole idea, but that's part of my past now. There's nothing that I am ashamed of. I just got to let it go because, it changes you and I don't want to be that person again. And the result from that has been rewarding, to be honest with you, because it opened doors for me, especially in advocacy for blind people. And I'm enjoying that very much. I think I might even say I enjoy that more than being a police officer. Now, regarding your question as to whether...
Wait, she wants to know what I did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry,
Oh,
my bad.
I call it, I went blind in 2015. Like I said, from a side effect of doxycycline. Had a couple doctors that pretty much didn't do anything to help me. So I went blind in 3-month period. From being a nurse and working every day on the streets and to homes and giving injections and IVs and everything, to trying to figure out, okay, what do I do now after I go blind? So I'm still trying to figure out what to do. So I was a nurse. That's what I did for over 20 years, which I loved. That was my favorite job I've ever had, was being a nurse. And I was more of the geriatric nurse that took care of the elderly, the older population, which is my favorite. So that's me in a nutshell.
That's why she married me.
Well, it's interesting that you guys were both in the service industries.
Yes.
Oh, that's one thing for certain is we consider ourselves servants. We really do. What we do, we don't do for the glory. We just do it because we like helping others. That's why we work on a couple of other projects, and we're just going from there. One thing I do want to say about Mary is she sells herself short quite often. and she's a better person than she gives herself credit for. And it just, she just doesn't realize how much she's done. Now, you asked to find out how we met. We met back in 2019 at church. And it took 3 tries because I had heard about a story about a nurse who lost her vision. At that point, I was starting to come out of my shell and discover what was available as far as resources were concerned. So I wanted to reach out to this nurse. And it took 3 weeks, but finally one of her mother's friends took my number, and we played phone tag for about a day or two. And and from that point on, there's no looking back from that point on.
Yeah.
Here we are today. Mary has grown quite a bit, and even more so after she spent almost a year at the Crisco Rehabilitation Center in Austin.
Yeah.
She's not the person I met, to be honest with you. She's not, and I'm glad.
We'll be married 4 years in October.
Oh, that's
October
great.
10th.
That's great. Congratulations. Well, you guys are like yin and yang. I mean, it seems like you get along so well. And I think it's sort of fun because I think a lot of sighted people, even in 2024 where we are, don't realize that, people who are blind go out and they get married.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we have our ups and downs. There's no doubt about it. I think every marriage does. And ours is a little bit off the wall because of our vision loss, but we manage quite well.
But we have date nights where it's just him and I.
Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks about being a married couple is you go anywhere, you got to take somebody with you to help you get around. But we made the decision that we do a date night where nobody goes with us. We call a Lyft or an Uber, take us there, go to the restaurant and movie or whatever it is that we want to do, all on our own.
Yeah.
It's difficult because at this point, our daughter is the one that helps us get around. Well, it feels good when she's not around. No offense intended.
We like to be very independent. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, we do. We don't hold back on our independence.
Of course not. And it seems like how does humor play? What does humor do in your relationship?
Well, Mary says I'm funny looking.
Can't see you. We have quite a bit of humor.
We do. We do have a good sense of humor with each other. It's like Mary is when I met her, 5 years ago almost now. Her family and had invited me to go with them to spend a week at a condo out at the beach. And at one point we were the first day that we were together, Mary and I talked the whole day long. And at one point, she finally had the nerve to ask, what do you look like? It's hard to explain. So, she reached out and touched my face, did the whole face thing. I said, I look like Robert Redford, don't I?
And we have our little sessions where one of us hides in the closet and does the boo thing when the other one walks by and scares, it really scares me a lot when he does that.
Say that again. Say that again.
Okay. Let me give you a scenario because this is pretty.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, not at the moment. Okay. We have a walk-in closet right by our bathroom door.
Right.
I have a tendency to stand right there at the entrance very quietly, not saying a word.
Oh, no.
I'm waiting for Mary to come out of the bathroom. And just as I can sense her walking right in front of me, I go, boo.
Oh.
At that volume. No, I don't yell it out. I just go, boo. Next, you ought to hear her scream.
Thank God I'm coming out of the bathroom, not going in. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it.
Oh my
He
God.
scared the dickens out of me, I tell you.
And of course, there's payback.
Oh, I do it to him too, so don't think I'm innocent. So we have that kind of fun together.
Yeah. What was that, Philip?
Like when she wants to do some payback sometimes, or try to find me, I get very quiet, and I'm moving around the living room or dining room area without making a sound. And she's like, "Where are you?" I'm not about to tell her. And she's like, "I'm gonna find you." I'm thinking, "Oh no, you're not."
Yeah, we have those kind of fun things that sighted people just don't do. I mean, you could do, but it's just really fun.
It's
did.
just like a simple, silly kind of fun, and I think a lot
Yeah.
of people don't do enough silly things, honestly.
Yeah.
It has to be. Otherwise, we drive each other nuts.
Yeah, we would. But we
And
have a lot of fun.
it's cool because you can understand each other. Your blindness, both of you, are blind, and so then you can understand one another. Do you think it would be different if one of you were fully sighted?
I was married. My first husband was sighted, and I was with him for about 2 years before he passed away. And yeah, it is different. To me, it's way different. Being with somebody that doesn't have vision, because they understand everything that you're going through. Somebody with sight doesn't quite understand
Right.
what. And Phil really helped me get through going through all the process of being blind now, and how to get education and how to use my cane. And so I don't think a sighted person would have understood as much. So
No,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my case, my first wife, she was sighted, but I did not have complete vision loss. So with Mary, I came in with complete vision loss.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was a little bit unusual, but the fact of the matter is, my relationship started with Mary because of one simple reason, was that I just wanted to help her,
Yeah.
and it just turned into what we are today.
Yeah.
That's
Who knew?
wonderful. What
Yeah.
do you think, which way is easier? Having someone actually who is not sighted as a partner?
I think it's easier having somebody not sighted as a partner than somebody sighted, because like I said, they understand. Like if I do something or move something, he understand we understand, like, don't move things. You know what I mean? Especially in the bathroom. Don't move my toothbrush, don't move my things around. We have that knowledge not to do that. I think somebody with sight wouldn't really pay attention to that. You know what I mean?
Actually, two-sighted people don't really pay attention to that.
Okay.
Yeah,
But you know what though, there are exceptions to this, and
Sure.
that example is my daughter. She's been with me through this whole process, and she's been really keeping an eye on things with me since 2015. So she knows that when she takes something out of the fridge, she knows to put it right back into the same spot. So, but the thing is, she has extensive experience in being around someone with vision loss. Those who do not have that amount of experience, now you're talking about her now, what, going on 9 years of knowing what and what not to do.
Yeah.
But when you're someone who's still trying to get adjusted after a year, don't expect that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not an overnight thing. It does take a major adjustment.
Oh yes, it does.
But there are those out there, but it's just all experience. And to us, both Mary and I being blind, it works out just fine.
Yep.
You seem like the perfect team. Tell me, so nobody leaves a cabinet door open either, right?
Okay, here's the problem with that. I'm 5'8",
Oh, here it goes.
and Phil is 5'5".
6.
Liar! Don't give yourself an extra inch. And I would probably hit myself on it. He doesn't. He's too short.
So it goes right over your head, no pun intended, Phil.
And I have to get stuff off the top shelf for him.
Aw. Well, you guys are perfect together. It
Yeah,
sounds
so it works out.
Well, tell us a little bit about your podcast. I had so much fun with it. With you guys. Tell
Go ahead on.
tell the
Well,
audience about it.
we started, in fact, August the 4th is our second anniversary for it. And we do have a YouTube channel and a Facebook page called The Two Blind Mice Show. And it is fun. I am having a heck of a time doing it. I enjoy it. Mary, she just flips the letters.
I don't. Vanna, aka Vanna White.
Anna.
Yeah, we nicknamed her Vanna because we were doing a show about a year and a half ago talking about
Navilance.
Yeah, Navilance, a third nav.
Yeah.
And she was
holding a box.
She was holding a box like one of those game show models.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just tagged her Vanna, and it's been like that ever since.
Yeah, that'll
And we've had some, I mean, many people come on, especially developers come on
Mhm.
to the show. You know, they have come up with the different apps, different products, different technology and so forth, which is what we love to do. And, you know, we had you recently.
Mhm.
Prior to you, we had Lindsay from a page called, oh, what is it? Travel Loss or Vision Loss Travel.
Yeah.
And we talked about traveling for, you know, what's available for people with vision loss. In fact, I'm going to be doing a podcast with her in about a couple of weeks.
Yep.
We've had some great guests come on.
We had
really bring you,
Morgan's Wonderland last week and made me cry 3 times. Ugh.
Oh,
you know,
What they do is just wonderful for people with disabilities.
it is.
It
And
touched my heart, and I told that girl, I said, "Stop it! You're making me cry. You did it 3 times." She goes, "My job is done here."
what do they do?
well, Morgan's Wonderland is an amusement and slash water park in San Antonio. And it is dedicated to providing access to all people with disabilities.
Yeah.
In other words, if you want to go on a zip line on a wheelchair, they'll make it happen.
Mhm.
Uh,
It was founded by the mother and father of their daughter that had a disability, and they built that park for her because she would go to other parks and the kids would just run away. They didn't know how to react to her disability, and it broke their hearts to see how the kids would treat her. So what they did is they built this park for her, and they opened it to the public so everybody with disabilities can go and understand how kids need to relate to other kids regardless of disability. So it's a wonderful, wonderful project.
Here's the clincher. As long as they fall under the appropriate description of disability, they get in for
They
free.
get it for free.
Oh,
It's
that's
wonderful.
amazing.
I know.
It is absolutely amazing. We're hoping to be there next year,
Yeah,
and we're
we're
hoping to
hoping to
do
go.
a show from there.
Yeah. So
But that's what the Two by My show is. It's just bringing information. You know, we don't. I don't know if you recall, but when I sent you an email with the information on the show, is one of the things that I put at the last part of that email was we don't take ourselves too seriously.
no.
You experienced it,
Yeah, we
I
laughed a lot. I
experienced
got
it.
along with you. Yeah.
and we don't because. And I may get criticized by some people with vision loss, but the way I put it is, I enjoy being blind. I really do. It's a strange thing to say, but I really enjoy being blind. I've had more fun being blind than when I had sight,
Yeah.
and
Why
it's
do you
kind of
think
weird.
that is?
I'm sorry, what was
Why
that?
do you think that is?
Why do you think that
Oh,
is?
the amazing people that I have met.
Mhm.
I'm not exaggerating. I have met some amazing people, both sighted and blind, that just like, wow, they, you know, you included. They become part of
Oh,
my
I feel
circle.
honored.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys have become part of our circle. We always invite you guys to come back on. It doesn't matter whether it's you or somebody that was on a show 6, 8 months ago. They're always welcome to come on, especially those who are presenting technology and they have updates they want to share.
Yeah, it's like a big family. So
It is.
yeah, we just love it. We love doing the show. So
I have a fantastic time.
What was that?
I have a fantastic time doing what
yeah,
I
we
do.
just love what
Believe
we
me,
do.
this isn't the only thing that we do. We have a nonprofit charity called the White Cane Project, and
Yeah.
that one is designed to provide free navigation canes to those who can't afford them, both here in the U.S.
And other countries.
Yeah, here in the U.S. and around the world. So that's what I meant to
I
say.
would like to get to Cuba. I'm trying. It's not an easy thing.
She likes the food.
No. I'm
Oh.
trying to get into Cuba. I need somebody in Cuba to help me get canes to the schools for the blind.
So
Hey,
that's what we do. Another one that I do here locally is I advocate for the blind, and I have a advocacy page on Facebook. And my goal is to bring awareness about vision loss, because where we live, it's a virtual desert when it comes to the knowledge of what it is to interact with a person with vision loss. So I work on that too. I'm working on another project, but I'm not going to talk about that one. You're going to have to tune into our July 1st show to find
We're
out.
always working on projects and doing different things. We're always out doing something.
Yeah,
Well,
so I just did a shameful plug.
no. Tell everyone what day and time they can listen to you.
Oh, we do our shows every other Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time. Like I said, it's on our YouTube and Facebook channel, The Two Blind Mice Show.
TWO,
Oh, yeah.
blind mice.
Yeah.
Not the number 2. It's TWO, two blind mice.
And oh God, what was it? And our next show is scheduled for next Monday,
Yeah.
the 17th.
Yes.
Our guest is gonna be, and this is the different thing that we do. We always usually invite the developer. This time we decided to invite a user who's gonna describe her experiences with the new set of sunglasses where Ray-Ban or Meta has partnered with Ray-Ban to create sunglasses with a built-in camera that pretty much works like Be My Eyes.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, it's hands-free.
Yeah.
So she's gonna bring it on. Like I said, she's a user, not a developer. So we want to hear her experience on it and share that information.
She's testing them. She's testing the glasses out because there's a lot of testing you do before you actually, put them out to the public completely.
So we're gonna do that one on the 5th, the 17th, and the 29th. No, the July the 1st. That's the one I don't want to share with anybody yet because I think that's a cool one. Because not only do we have that guest coming on, I'm working on a side project because of that guest, but I don't want to spoil the
surprise. We can't say anything about that.
It's top
mystery.
Secret.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it because of the side project. But like I said, I'll shut up now.
Okay. Mom's the word.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, it's your turn. What's your recipe?
Go, Phil. I've had these and they're really good. He makes them all the time. Okay, honey, go.
Okay. I'm Hispanic. Mary's white. So this is the appropriate kind of recipe for the both of us because it's white chicken cheese enchiladas. All right. So it's just, they're good, if I do say so myself. And let me give you a quick deal as to how the recipe goes. You shred some chicken after you boil it and everything like that. I would say, well, actually, the recipe itself initially called for like 2 cups of it. Believe me, it's not going to be enough. After a while, you can develop your own amount of what you want to do. And that's what I ended up doing. So you boil chicken, you shred it, set it aside. And then you got to create a broth. And what you do is you put some butter and some diced onion into a saucepan.
How much?
Okay, I was about to say. You put in again about 2 tablespoons of butter with a medium to large size diced onion, and you put it in the saucepan. You stir it until the onion, which is not easy for a blind person to know, but
it's called sweating the onion.
Yeah, and you just take a guess at it, and then once you do that, you add 2 tablespoons of flour, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, salt and pepper, cumin. The cumin's about 1/4 teaspoon. You don't want to add too much because it will overpower.
That is a powerful.
It is. So you use about 1/4 teaspoon, and you mix it all in there with some chicken broth. If the recipe calls for 2 cups, that's a joke. I end up putting about 4 to 6 cups of chicken broth in it.
Yeah.
You mix it all up, you stir it all up, make sure everything is. And my advice, the biggest problem that I had at first when I made this recipe was the flour clumping up. What I ended up doing, I learned my lesson. I throw in the flour before I put in the broth.
Well, yeah, you're making a roux.
Yeah, well, the thing about it is the recipe calls for you to put in the chicken broth first and then the flour.
Yeah,
big mistake.
I
So
don't
that's
know
all.
why they tell you that way. I know it drives me crazy. You know what I do? I put the flour in the broth or whatever liquid, and I let it sit there 15 minutes and mix it up a couple of times, and it's not because it dissolves.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I switched that around. So then what you do once you got everything all mixed in there, stirred up, nice and comfortable, you bring it to a boil. And once you hit boil, drop it down to a low simmer, and you let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. And that works out perfectly because that gives you the opportunity to make the tortillas. Now, here's the thing that I no longer do. When you make enchiladas, the common practice is to fry them up a little bit.
The corn tortilla.
Yeah, the corn tortillas. So the thing is this, one, for a blind person to do that, it's a little tricky, but it's also dangerous.
Yeah.
So one day I decided to try an experiment. So what I end
Okay.
up doing is I put 5 flour, and this depends on how many enchiladas you want to make. And believe me, I make a big batch.
Yeah.
So what I do is I put 5 corn tortillas flat out on a plate, microwave them for a minute, and they become pliable enough to roll up like a regular enchilada without having to deal with the unhealthy issues of vegetable oil,
Yeah.
not having to worry about splattering yourself, not having to worry about burning yourself or overdoing the tortilla. They come out perfect.
Mhm.
So that's what I would recommend if anybody's going to do this recipe is microwave your corn tortillas for 1 minute.
Yeah.
All right. So now what you're dealing with now is a little bit difficult also. At this point, more than likely the simmer,
The broth is done.
that's on. So this one you got to be really careful. I followed the instructions, which was a huge mistake. It requires you to dip the tortilla into the broth. You know what happens when you dip a tortilla into the broth? It falls apart.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So I learned a little trick. It's a little bit risky. I don't dip it in there. I lay it on top.
Yeah.
And then I flip it over and do the other side. And you know what? The same thing. It just comes out the same way as you had to dip it in there, but you have a whole tortilla now, not a bunch of strips.
Yep.
So you oh, one thing I forgot. Okay, well, I added it here now. So you got the tortilla already dipped. It's ready to go. Now you add the chicken, and then you add along with the chicken cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese, or like most people use Fiesta blend
Whatever
cheese.
cheese you want to
Yeah,
use.
really whatever it is, but I recommend those.
Yeah.
And you roll them up, place them into a baking pan,
Mhm.
seam side down, and you just do as many as you want. Now, once you get done with that, you're gonna have some broth left over. And I'm gonna give
Mhm.
credit to Mary for this one because I hadn't thought about it. And what you do is you put in about a quarter cup sour cream and a quarter cup heavy whipping cream.
Mhm.
You stir it all up in the saucepan. You know, it doesn't have to be simmering or anything. You just stir it up
Into the
until,
broth.
yeah, you just stir it up until it's nicely blended. And then you pour it over the whole enchiladas.
Yes.
Okay, so now you got the broth along with the diced onion on there, and it just, you know, well,
Mhm.
it's an assumption, but I'm assuming it's spreading out just nicely because
it does.
they always come out good. Uh, Now the other option that you have is you can add green chilies.
Yeah.
I really don't like to use those because sometimes it overpowers the flavor.
Yep.
So it's optional. It's to anybody's preference.
It's a small little can of green chilies. It's a small can they make. If
Yeah,
you want
it's a 4 ounce.
4 ounce. Yeah.
So when you do that, you pour it on the broth over the enchiladas, and then you cover them up.
With cheese.
Cheese.
Glorious cheese.
Glorious
Now
cheese.
remember, I said these are called white chicken enchiladas.
Yeah, because of the broth turns white because we put sour cream and
Yeah. So
yeah.
you want to keep the theme. You cover it up with white Monterey Jack cheese, and you got white chicken enchiladas. Now, once you got that taken care of, you're good to go. You preheat your oven to 350. Once you get to that temperature, throw them in there uncovered. Don't cover them up. And the reason for that is being uncovered, it allows the broth to thicken and wrap itself around the enchiladas, but it doesn't dry them up.
Yeah.
You put them in there for about 15 to 20 minutes, and everything comes out nice and hot.
Oh, so good. But
Oh
you
my
can
God.
add the green chilies if you want before you put the cheese on top. And just spread the green chili over the enchiladas evenly and then put the cheese and throw them in the oven if you want the green chili option.
One of the one of the things that I really liked about one of the discoveries I made was the whole microwave thing.
Yeah.
It really is healthier. It really is, and it's a lot safer. So I would recommend anybody that.
Yeah, just dealing with a pan of oil and trying to flip them over. It's a bit dangerous for us. We've learned the hard way.
For anybody, you know, I've
Yeah.
burned myself times too, you know, the flying grease, you know, like the flying garbanzos. You
Yeah.
just you get hit with grease from all over the place.
Yeah, yeah. So that's our white chicken enchilada recipe.
I enjoy cooking a lot. I really do. I enjoy cooking a lot. And Mary says I'm bragging, but I make breakfast for Mary every day.
Yeah, all the time.
You know, and whether it's a Mexican skillet, whether it's an omelet, or whether it's just bacon and eggs. In fact, Mary did make some waffles and sausage for me.
I worked so hard. Yeah, the
Yeah.
toaster.
Slaved over a hot toaster.
Oh, I did. Oh, well, every Christmas we make a special meal, and he cooks almost all of it. He makes prime rib every Christmas.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and all the sides.
So would you say, Mary, that Philip is the cook in your house, or do you guys like sort of like share it?
We share it because we rotate.
Yeah,
One night will be his, the next night will be mine, and then the next night is his daughter's. So every week we all do at least 1 to 2 meals a week. It's a rotating thing.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the way we do it.
But the fact is that I enjoy cooking. I really do.
Yeah.
And I have just a fantastic time trying new stuff out. But I have my classics that I stick to quite a bit. But the reality is I enjoy cooking. Doesn't matter whether it's dinner or breakfast. I enjoy it all.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the two of you are so great. I love your energy so very much. And
Thank you.
Phil, and I know Mary, you probably think the same thing, but since Phil, you said this, you said that you enjoy being blind. What would you tell someone in your exact place if they are going blind? What would you tell them?
Take advantage of all the resources that are available out there, whether it's going to a school for the blind, learning technology, going to an organization that gets you a guide dog or teaches you how to use a cane. Take advantage of all the resources available, because one thing that I hear often with people with vision loss is they're afraid to try new things and they're hindering their independence. That's the one main thing that I would tell anybody. Whenever I come across anybody that just is not aware of what's available out there, I never hesitate to reach out and say, look, I do this for people. I'm ready to do it for you. Just let me know when. And I encourage everybody out there, especially those who are new to vision loss. Your life isn't over.
No,
it isn't, to be honest with you. But it's your choice to take advantage of all the resources that are out there. And here's the great thing about that. 90% of the resources that are out there don't cost a thing. They're funded by the government or your state government. The developers, there's numerous apps out there that are free.
Technology.
And the independence is there. And that's the one thing I would really recommend above anything else. Take advantage of the resources. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do another shameless plug. If anybody needs information on resources, go to the Two Blind Mice page on Facebook. Send me a message through that, and I can get you information on what's available out there. If I don't know what it is, I'll find out if there's something new.
Yep.
But don't miss out on not taking advantage of the resources that are available.
Yeah, I agree. I would also say that going blind, it's scary. It can be very scary because it happened to me. But I would say going blind, there is a process. It's almost like a grieving process. You go through the stages. You go through, all the stages of almost like grieving, almost like losing your past life. But I think it is as I've started a new life, a better life, and I'm helping people in this life the same way I did before. So that's how I feel about going blind. You just have to go through the process. I mean, you may get some depression, you may get, some
It's
anger,
normal.
and then eventually, you're going to have to accept it. It is what it is, and accept it, move on, get the help you can get from anybody, from everywhere, and move on with your life and make it a productive life.
I'm going to interject here real quick because this is all about Mary, and I think it's a great example as to what it is to take advantage of the resources. When I met Mary, she knew nothing what was available. She didn't even know how to use a cane. So one of the first things that we did, and this got set back because of COVID, we signed up to go to Leader Dogs for the Blind in Detroit so she could learn how to use a navigation cane and me to take a refresher course. Well, we flew from where we live in South Texas to Detroit, and the entire trip she was holding on to me for guidance, and I'm using a sky cap to help me get around, but she's holding on to me through the whole process until we got to Detroit. Spent a week up in Detroit learning how to, teaching her how to use a cane. On the way back, I'm the one that's holding on to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It
ma'am.
changed her.
Yes.
It
Yes.
totally changed her. So that's why I'd recommend anybody
Mm.
take advantage of the resources that are out there. And
Yes.
there's a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah. Yep. So
Well, thank you so much, Philip and
Thank
Mary Sotelo of Two Blind Mice. I really enjoyed having you guys. As I said, I love your energy.
thank you.
And tell us one more time how people can get a hold of you.
All right. Facebook, the Two Blind Mice Show. That's our page. You're welcome to comment on there, ask questions, contact us via Messenger. Same thing on our YouTube channel, also the same name, the Two Blind Mice Show. You can also email us at the2blindmiceshow@gmail.com. And as Mary likes to reiterate, it's the Two Blind Mice Show. It's the letter T, or the letters TWO,
Yeah.
not the number 2.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you put the number 2 in, then you're not gonna find us.
Yeah. So feel free to reach out at us anytime. I enjoy doing what I do, because I love sharing what I do.
Yeah.
Mary does the same thing, and that's why we do it. And anybody is always welcome to reach out to us, and guarantee you we're going to get you the information you need.
Thank you, Renee. I appreciate having us on your show today.
Oh,
Appreciate
thank you. Thank you for being here. I enjoyed being on yours as well. And for those of you out there, if you want to go to our website, please subscribe. You get free recipes and kitchen tips Monday through Friday directly to your email. It's at www.cookingwithoutlookingtv.wordpress.com. And if you want to see any of our past shows and some of our podcasts, you can go to our Cooking Without Looking YouTube channel. And thank you all for joining us. And Mary and Philip, thank you for helping us change the way we see blindness. Have a wonderful day.
you too. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.